channels for his fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. Bronny James, Joel Embiid, and Paul George. The biggest circus in the NBA right now, or should we say the biggest circus in the circus right now, right? Because that's all the NBA really is. It's a circus. We told you guys before, this is not a real sports league anymore. It turned into a fake sports league when LeBron went to the Miami Heat, because no commissioner and no NBA will let such a thing happen. And not only because he went to Miami, the way he went to Miami, right, and made it a circus after he lost in back-to-back playoffs as the number one overall seed in the playoffs. He had no help. That was the story. I don't know how you get the best record in the NBA in back-to-back seasons and was top 5 in offense and top 5 in defense, and you had no help. Wow, you just can't even imagine something like that. So we'll talk about LeBron James in a minute. But the news on the wire is that Paul George, right, and Joel Embiid, they had to shut him down for the rest of the preseason. And look, this is my thing. They shut him down because they say they were hurt. And again, this is my thing. If Joel Embiid didn't play the whole damn preseason, I'm cool with it. If LeBron James didn't play the entire preseason, I'm cool with it, right? LeBron, 40 years old, somehow was playing in the Olympics at 40 years old. I know he's 39, but when he turns 40, they'll say he's 41 or 42. That's what the media does, right? And Joel Embiid, coming off an injury in the regular season and in the playoffs, if he set out the whole preseason, I'm cool with it. Well, these things did not happen, right? And this is what I'm going to tell you. Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, and LeBron James, right? I don't want to hear nothing this year when they're sitting out with injuries and they stole all this money from the fans, right? I don't want to hear nothing about it, because all three of them, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James, they were in the Olympics. Why the hell were they playing in the Olympics? Why? LeBron had no reason playing in the Olympics at 40 years old. Could you imagine Michael Jordan playing in the Olympics at 40 years old, trying to prove something at 40 years old? That is the most ridiculous thing you would ever see. It's the most ridiculous thing you would ever see. Michael Jordan starting on the Olympic team at 40 years old, trying to get a damn gold medal, and barely beating Rudy Gobert, a slow-footed wannabe all-time great center, and Wemby, who will be great, but still a rookie, almost getting beat by Joker and his plumber crew, and getting took to the wire by, who is this? South Sudan, right? With the squad the U.S. Olympic men's team had. And they're trying to tell you that that team was somehow as good as a dream team. I mean, at least they could have went to the Dream Team 3 or something. God. Yeah. And it just blew up in their face, right? The whole thing, it blew up in their face. Because they struggled to beat France, which the Dream Team blew out. The Dream Team won. They struggled to beat Serbia. The Dream Team won. So you don't compare that U.S. team, the 2024 team, to the Dream Team and try to find out who can be who. What you got to compare is, would the Dream Team struggle against Serbia? Would the Dream Team struggle against France? Would the Dream Team struggle against South Sudan? No. No, and no. So there you got your answer. They will roll through the 24 Olympic, the Olympic basketball team, U.S. Olympic basketball team. They will roll through them. No problem. You got your answer right there, right? Again, what the media today is about what you see with your own eyes. Hey, buddy, forget about it. That ain't What you're seeing is not what you're seeing. Well, why not? Because we're here to tell you what you're seeing. We make $20 million a year. We make $10 million a year on TV to tell you what you see. Ain't this the most ridiculous thing you ever heard? That, you already know, I think that these NBA players don't get paid this money, right? I just don't think it, because, there's all this stuff surrounding it. They got to get a job when they retire, put on makeup, start reading off a damn script, and, have to have podcasts, all this ludicrous stuff. Like commercials, that's one thing, right? Endorsements, but when you literally got to go work after you done made tens of millions, hundreds of millions, it's the most ridiculous thing you ever seen in your life. I just don't believe it. Now, we'll get back to that in a minute. Joel Embiid and Paul George, if they're out this season, I don't care what the time is. 10 games, 5 games. Why are they robbing the Philadelphia fans out of their money? And this is what I'll tell you. If I was a Philly fan, there's no way in the world I would go and support this team if they're going to be sitting out this year. I just wouldn't. I mean, I know some of these guys got like season tickets already, but damn, I would support them after those tickets run out. I really wouldn't. For what? Joel Embiid had no reason playing on the Olympic team. No reason. He had no reason playing on that damn Olympic team. He's not a competitor. He was supposed to go play for France. He wouldn't go play for his he was supposed to play for his team in Africa. Was it Cameroon or something like that? Did they even have a team? But I know he was supposed to play for France, and that's why they were booing him or something like that. They were booing him during that final game, during the championship game. They were booing him, right? So, and he was laughing. These guys think it's a joke. He was laughing. He was laughing. These guys had no respect for the fans. Yeah, so Joel Embiid, coming off a damn injury, had no reason to go front run with the Olympic. Hell, if he would have played for France, maybe they would have won. That's what's so crazy. United States barely beat France. Barely. They say Joel Embiid was there as a presence in the middle or something like that. Maybe they could have won. That's sad. You want to go front run with a bunch of front runners. Well, I won't call them all front runners on the U.S. men's Olympic team, but you do got some front runners on there like LeBron James. We talked about that before. When the 23 FIBA team lost, how come he didn't take those guys under his wing, right? And say, look, man, let's go do this. Nope. He broke up that whole team, put the next Michael Jordan on the damn bench, Anthony Edwards. This guy is a joke. And I was saying he was a joke the whole damn season last year, and it came to fruition. When 40-year-old turnover king LeBron James literally broke up that FIBA team, which was a pretty good FIBA team, right? It's just the fact that these NBA players today, they don't really have any skill set besides shooting the damn three. But if somebody came in there and really coached these guys and was a real coach these days, they could show them how to play. But yeah, LeBron broke up this FIBA team and put the next Michael Jordan, Anthony Edwards on the damn bench. Hey, boy, you want to play? You just didn't medal in a FIBA, but you want to play on my team? Listen here, boy, I'm the turnover king. I ain't got no skills, no handling skills. Can't shoot the three, can't shoot the mid-range, can't shoot free throws. I own the media. You want to be on this team, boy? You're going to have to come off the bench. I'm sliding Curry, the shooting guard, and I'm going to be, I want to be Magic Johnson like I've been all of my career. I mean, even Magic Johnson was a better free throw shooter, a better mid-range shooter, and of course, a better point guard than LeBron James. Hold on. I hear these dummies all the time. Well, the comparison really shouldn't be Michael Jordan and LeBron James. It should be more like Magic Johnson. Are you an idiot? Are you crazy? Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard of all time, one of the greatest clutch players of all time, one of the greatest leaders of all time, one of the greatest. I seen games with this guy, and he was hurt. He tore his what is this called? Oh, I can't remember. Of course, I'm in my car early in the morning. My head's all foggy. I forget what it's called. Not the hammy. Right over there by your crouch. And they shut him down by like the second quarter, right? They wasn't even gonna let him play, and he protested that he was gonna play. And he told him, he said, "Look, I don't want to miss this game. It's just a regular season game now. I think they were playing the Bulls. What was this, like 80, I don't know, 87, 88? And he said that the fans pay to see me play. He said, I'm Magic Johnson. It don't matter if I can barely walk. The fans came to see me. And they shut him down by the time the second quarter came. And this big thing at halftime. He was still coming at the coaching staff and the medical staff that he wanted to play in the second half. And then he hounded them until then in the fourth quarter. But these guys were competitors back then. These guys made their name, right? By having to make a name. There was no media telling you how good these guys were without even seeing it with your own eyes. You had to have the actual footage and the memories that these events happened that made them these great players, whether it was in the regular season, the playoffs, the NBA finals. It was not a damn stat line. The stat line came along with the highlights, with the story they told by their own court play. Right? These guys today aren't competitors. They're just not. They're not competitors. And I really don't know what to say to Philly fans. It's like a kick in the nuts. It's like watching, I don't know, somebody at your job getting all these raises and they're not even a good worker. It makes no sense. And the company is really not doing good every year. Nobody wants to buy from this company, but the company just keeps giving out big raises to their employees. How does this make any sense? What the NBA is trying to tell you, these guys are making record-breaking contracts and nobody is watching this crap, right? And instead of like trying to adjust and trying to make the league better, trying to go back to the before 2005 when they took the defense out, trying to go back to the old NBA, they're making the NBA worse every year. And we talked about this before. You can never go back to that style of NBA because these guys don't have it. These guys are not the grown men that were men back then. Right? When we talk about Michael Jordan's 84 Olympic team went and played NBA pros, right? And Michael Jordan beat them 8 times out of 8 tries. The LeBron fans will say, oh, that was just a scrimmage. Go watch these games. Go watch these games. Yes, it was a scrimmage, but these dudes was playing like it was a real damn game. This is how competitive my era was, the 80s and the 90s. They didn't take nothing lightly. Whether it was at work, whether it was in sports, whether it was in music, whether it was in movies, it was competitive. People in the past laid the foundation of greatness because they had greatness that came before them, because they wanted to be at least great as that person that came before them, right? In that field, or they wanted to be better. They was competing to be better. There wasn't some damn hoax telling people, oh yeah, Dan Marino, he's better than Staubach, just because, right? There's really no evidence to support that. We've seen it with our own eyes. We've seen it with our own eyes. And when we see this era, you ain't seeing it, buddy. You're not seeing it. And the thing is, these international players are really, taking the brunt of this because, this is kind of their era in the 2020s is is its own era, but it's done turned into a damn LeBron James show, right? And the 2020 guys, or the international players, they're not dissing past NBA great players, right? It's the American players who's doing it. They got the nerve to be doing this crap, right? And I heard, who was this? I can't remember this guy's name. Maybe you guys seen this. I think it was on one of the Facebook groups or whatever like that. I can't remember this guy's name. I think he was a defensive guy. I think he's still playing, maybe. I think he was a defensive lineman for New Orleans. But he said Drew Brees was the greatest quarterback of all time, and he felt like that he was better than Brady and all this stuff. And wow. And I'm like, and then he was just talking about how long it took Brady to pass Drew Brees' touchdown record. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. I mean, these guys are going to get into this in the NFL, this LeBron versus Jordan thing. They're going to throw it in the NFL. Like, Drew Brees is an all-time top 10 great quarterback, but there's no way in this world that he's top 5 based on his overall career. Now, if you want to say, like, okay, if we're just talking about a pure quarterback, and we look at that, yeah, I could say he's top 5, something like that. You know what I'm saying? But when we look at overall career, Super Bowl, playoffs, clutch moments, and stats, no. Drew Brees is not right there. It's just like we don't use Michael Jordan's 6 rings. You hear the idiots every time they try to make a case for LeBron James. It's just, especially these NBA players, it's just not about the rings. Okay, if we took out rings, LeBron ain't got too much left, right? He ain't got too much left on Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. He just don't. Not even Bill Russell. Bill Russell has more statistical accolades than LeBron James, and he has more MVPs. So what are we talking about? They ain't talking about nothing. They talking about a bunch of dumb stuff so they can get clicks and views. Clicks and views. So again, these 4 players that I'm going to name, again, I don't want to hear nothing about these guys being injured and hurt. Well, you could say 3, really, because Paul George wasn't on that Olympic team. But AD, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid. There's no excuse why these guys should be sitting out and they was on the damn Olympic team. There's no reason why they should be sitting out this season. It was more important that they went and got a damn ring on that Olympic team than trying to win a championship for a team they're getting paid over $50 million a year for, right? There's no excuse. Ain't no damn excuse. It ain't no damn excuse for Paul George to be hurt again. Running, gunning, shooting threes. And again, you can't go back to the old defensive rules of the 80s and 90s because these guys don't have it. They don't have it. We saw what happened in the early 2000s. LeBron and company was getting smashed in the 04 Olympics, 06 FIBA. These guys don't have a two-way motor in this era to play like 80s and 90s basketball players. They don't. They don't. They just don't. When you're just standing around, not cutting on the offense, you're not playing real defense. 4 guys sitting at the 3-point line. Everybody's running the same damn play. 4 guys sitting at the 3-point line. Look, man. So they had to change the rules, man. The game just wasn't. These guys just weren't good enough to play that style. So Bronny James, how this guy is going to make the Lakers team and not get sent down to the G League, the D League, whatever it's called, will be an absolute embarrassment to basketball. And I'm trying to tell you, if this guy is on that roster when the season opens, after what we just saw last night, in the game before, if he's on that roster on opening season, it just tells me more about, it confirms my argument that the NBA is not a real sports league. It's not. And that's why I won't get on this channel every single day and only talk about the NBA because LeBron and his son is the face of the NBA, right? When they're talking more about LeBron, of his career is over. They're comparing this guy to Michael Jordan. That's one thing, which is the biggest joke. But they're still talking about this guy at 40 years old and his career is over. People, he went 4-6 in the finals with 6 finals blowout losses. Didn't see a game 7. And his fans will say, oh man, how is going to 6 games a blowout, man? Utah and this team took Jordan to game 6. Look, man, in those game 6s, right? In those 4 quarters, those games were out of reach. It was over. Most of them. Swept 2 times. What was it, like 2 gentleman sweeps? And I think lost 4-2. You didn't even see a game 7 in 6 NBA Finals losses with your super teams. Well, we can say 2 of them. He didn't have a super team. But still, you didn't see a game 7. What a coincidence. A loser has been the face of the NBA for all these years. And now his son, another loser, is now the new face of the NBA. You're not promoting SGA. You're not promoting Luka. You're not promoting Joker. You're not promoting any of these Wemby. This is what you're promoting? Wow. It's got to be a joke. And like I said, I'm not going to get up on here. This is people's, and I've been guilty of this, right? I was guilty on this channel. You can watch a lot of my videos, but it's exhausting to get on here every single day, and you're basically talking about the same thing. There's nothing new about this Jordan versus LeBron GOAT debate, right? There's nothing new. It gets to the point where people are just repeating themselves, right? So if you go to these Facebook groups, debate groups, the LeBron versus Jordan, all this stuff, it's pretty much these guys start repeating themselves, right? The LeBron fans, they will come in 1-9 without Pippen. You couldn't beat Bird and them, blah, blah, blah. It's the same stuff. And once those crop of dummies fade out, here comes some more dummies. A year later, they say the same thing. Crop of other dummies come from China or Bangladesh or the Philippines, and all these LeBron fans in these third world countries that just want to be heard on social media because nobody cares about them. And I'm not saying that because they live in them places, but they just want to be heard because their talking points are what Nick Wright said and what Shannon Sharp said and blah, blah, blah. All their talking points ain't the investigation of basketball. It's what somebody else said in the media, right? But anyways, when those crop of dummies get done saying the same thing that's been said for 5 years, a new crop of dummies come and say the same thing for another 5 years. There's nothing new to say about this GOAT debate because LeBron really has done nothing new to move the damn needle for his argument. Has did nothing. Michael Jordan solidified himself as the greatest scorer. As the greatest scorer of all time. As a guard. Before that, you only thought of the greatest scorer of a center. Michael Jordan took that title and made it a shooting guard, which is a tough thing to do when you're shooting from the damn perimeter, right? Or you have to slash into the lane amongst the trees, amongst the big dudes, game in and game out, and shooting 50% from the damn field. Hell, Mike would have stayed retired. The first time he would have shot 51% from the field. It was ridiculous. But still, yet, with the Bulls, he shot 50.5% from the field. LeBron was still shooting. We went to 13 years. LeBron only played 13 years when Michael Jordan retired. LeBron still wasn't his career, overall career field goal percentage still wasn't at 50.5%. And we talked about this before. LeBron had to start taking less shots when he went to Miami to put his field goal percentage up, right? And play with great players that could shooters, right? Because he traded defense for offense because he can't shoot, especially in clutch moments. So when he built his super teams, he traded defense for offense because he wasn't that clutch player. So, and that's why he was getting beat in some of these games when he had his super team. Because he no longer had no defensive, it wasn't a real good defensive team. Miami was okay, but he had a better defensive rating when he was in Cleveland the first time. And the second time he was in Cleveland, it wasn't even no comparison as far as the defense that he had in Cleveland the first time when he built his super team in Cleveland. So we know the stats that Bronny Jr. put up right last night. It's a joke. It's a joke. And they're trying to, they're trying to play this guy less minutes. Why? This guy got a guaranteed contract. What do you mean he's playing less minutes? This should be the guy out there proving himself, proving this guaranteed contract. What you get this guy a guaranteed contract for in the first place? Because they already knew. They already knew. Well, you can cut the guy anyways. Guaranteed contract, whatever. $4 million. You take out taxes. You take out lawyer fees. You take out administration fees. You take out manager fee. You take out taxes. You ain't seeing that $4 million, right? You might see $2 million if you're lucky. But it's not even about the money. The guy is a billionaire. His father's a so-called billionaire, which I doubt. But it's more about this circus. The NBA cares more about this circus in a league that's pretty much going extinct as far as viewership, right? I mean, Michael Jordan's sons could have played in this NBA. Bronny is showing us nothing, no more than what Michael Jordan's son. Michael Jordan's son probably could have scored more than Bronny James. They have made a mockery out of the NBA, starting with LeBron James' career, and now the career of Bronny James. And look, I'm not totally jumping off the wagon on this thing, right? Because I kind of made a prediction, right? And I might be wrong. Maybe they can prove me wrong. But I made a prediction that he was going to stink it up the rest of the rest of the preseason, and then all of a sudden he was going to become a good player when the regular season started. And people, what? How's that going to happen? Well, if the NBA is not a real sports league, how do you think it's going to happen? How do you think it's going to happen? Well, the players are going to play part to make this happen. The NBA is going to play part to make this happen. How about the Caitlin Clark thing? She came in breaking it up, turning the ball over. Next thing you know, she's the greatest player of all time since the Michael Jordan comparisons, right? So we'll see where this thing is going. Maybe it won't happen that way. Hopefully it don't, because it's going to look really rigged if it happens that way, right? Like the Olympics, it looked really rigged. It looked like, okay, guys, this showed that, you can't beat the U.S. men's team, but make it look like, international players have caught up to the NBA players, well, to American players. Make it look like, international players have caught up to USA players, and then, we're going to back off, and let the U.S. men's team win. We'll get the officials in there. You guys break it up and do your thing to make this stuff happen, right? When I say break it up, I'm talking about the international team, the opposing team. But as long as we can make it look like, the international players have caught up to the USA players, that's good enough. We have something to stand on, that the dream teams weren't that good. And the world caught up to us. But we can't, exactly let, them beat us, because, it's LeBron's team. And we're going to make the dream team. I'm trying to tell you guys, this is the devil world that people live in. And they don't understand the deception of what's going on. The deception is right in your eyes for a hot minute about this LeBron thing. It's not a real GOAT debate. It's the fakest thing you've ever seen. Bronny James is not a real NBA player. Imagine Bronny trying to come into the 90s. Kobe had to sit on the bench. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest skilled players of all time, will do circles around LeBron James. Kobe was pissed that they took out defense in the NBA. Kobe came out in the 90s. Kobe wasn't happy about that. He broadcasted. They took out defense starting in '05 so it can make it look like these guys were better than what they are. And by the time we came to the 210s, initially, it wasn't that bad, right? When they took it out in '05, because it was real good for LeBron James because he could just do his barrel into the basket thing with no resistance. But you still had guys in the 2000s giving effort, right? Because a lot of these guys came out of the 90s. They came out of the 90s. So by the time you got to the 210s, it did become a joke. Steph Curry is a great player, but look, man, he's not going to be able to do the stuff he does in the 80s and 90s. He's just not. Not because they didn't shoot them threes, because once he starts shooting them threes like that, a dude would just come over and shut you down. Right? Saw Reggie Miller had to shoot his three. He got to come on for like 3-4 screens. Nobody is just going to sit out there and let you shoot threes. They're going to be all over your ass. Go shut this guy down, this three-point shooter. Nobody's just going to let you launch all them threes like that. You will be in trouble. So, look, I'm going to get off this thing. And the NBA is a joke. It's a circus. This is what this new era of fans want. They want a circus. They don't want real basketball players. They don't want it. Because you see what the world has become, a circus. The presidential debate is could you imagine a presidential debate like that back in the 80s and 90s? What's going on today? It's a circus, right? Social media is a circus. Everything is a circus. The LeBron James era is a circus. So tell me what you think, man. Bronny poops his pants last night. Craps all over himself. Not a real NBA player. He's part of the circus.